Hi, so today we're talking about 4 new ways of raising your vibe and shifting your frequency. So if you've watched the other videos, welcome back. If you're just now tuning in, welcome, you've come to the right place. Maybe you've noticed, maybe in traffic, you'll notice some days when you are maybe not feeling so great and you're in traffic and someone cuts you off and it pisses you off and you yell or get upset about it. And next thing you know, more people are cutting you off and more things happen for you to get upset about. Whereas if you walk out the door, you're feeling really good and everything is vibing well and you feel good and things just keep happening that make you want to feel good more. I think we've all probably recognized those moments in our lives where every time that we are feeling crappy, more things happen to make, like that saying, when it rains, it pours. When we feel like crap, we attract things that make us feel crappier. When we are feeling good, we attract things that make us feel better. So it's really as simple as that. When we're talking about shifting our vibration, when we're talking about raising our vibration, it's simply an awareness of this throughout our daily lives and ways to just kind of plug and play, essentially, ways to really just integrate these teachings in our lives so that we can manifest and attract more of the things that we want in our lives. Okay? So we're going to go over 4 new ways of doing this. So these can be fake it till you make it sometimes. These are ways to just shift your frequency, shift your vibe so that you are flowing a little bit better. So sometimes we're in a place where we can't do it ourselves, when we can't, but we do have that within ourselves, right? At any time. But we need that reminder, I should say. We just need that reminder. So I'm here as a reminder. These are things you already know. This is nothing new. People have been talking about this for forever. This is not new information, okay? We are talking about now creativity. Creativity is a great way to boost your vibration, to help you into that flow, to open your heart. And as you'll see through the theme through these videos, it's really just about opening our hearts. And creativity can do that. And creativity breeds creativity. So in times that I have felt kind of sluggish and in a slump and blocked in so many ways, I have found that if I just sit down and do a creative project for no other reason, not for money, not to sell, not to do anything but other than just to sit and be creative. Like making jewelry. I love making jewelry. So if I sit down and just spend time making jewelry, next thing I know, I want to be creative somewhere else. So I think that can be often the case. We just have to, they talk about writers and inspiration, right? So showing up at your desk every day, day in and day out, you're not going to feel inspired every single day. But if you don't show up, you're never going to notice, you're not going to be in the right place at the right time when you are feeling that inspiration, right? Creativity is like that. We have to show up first, oftentimes. Sometimes it just hits us and then we're in that creative flow and we just go. But if we're showing up and we're already there, when that inspiration moves into us, moves through us, then we're in the right place at the right time. And that creativity raises our vibration. It just does. The more creative we are, the more open we are to this creative space, whatever it comes from, wherever this inspiration comes from, whatever that is, whatever that essence is, it's allowing us to connect with the energy around us, whatever that essence is. It allows us to connect to that, to source, to God, to goddess, whatever you want to call it. It allows that connection through creativity. So if there's something that you haven't picked up in a while, maybe when you were a kid you enjoyed painting or whatever it is, finding that creativity part of you again is going to breed more creativity. I don't know how it works that way, but it does. And it creates those feel-good vibes. And when we create those feel-good vibes, we rise higher and we flow higher. So creativity is the first one we're going to go over today. Boundaries is the next one. And this can get a little blurry, right? I think especially particularly with a lot of women, because we are wired to want to help, to nurture, to care for, right? So boundaries can sometimes get a little blurry with family members, with grown children. Boundaries can be something that needs to be honored in a healthy way so that we can love the people that we want to love, but in a healthy way. Because there are some people that we love, but they hurt us. So we have to have healthy boundaries. And it may not, we all have our stuff, right? It's not a blame game. It's just, sometimes that's just the way it is. And so we have to create those healthy boundaries. And when we create these healthy boundaries, and it's not saying to block everyone, cut everyone off. Sometimes we have to do that as well. But creating these healthy boundaries allows us to love without resentment. And that is what it's all about. It's creating the space to be open to love so that we don't have those blocks there. And if we are allowing people to walk all over us or allowing them to disrespect us or treat us poorly, we are going to build some resentment. If we're not acknowledging that, it may be in the background, but it's there. And that is blocking us. We don't want to, the whole point is we don't want to block. We don't want to block this heart space. We want to have that heart-mind coherence at all times, right? And so the more practices that we do to open up this heart space, and that includes healthy boundaries with people so that we can love them, so that we can love ourselves enough to, we're not just loving that person, but we're also loving ourselves. We're respecting ourselves enough to know, no, this is not okay. No, this does not work for me, right? So healthy boundaries can be a beautiful way in protecting your peace, protecting your mental health, protecting your overall wellness with these healthy boundaries. So that's going to look different for you. It's going to look different for everyone because everyone's situation is different. But keeping in mind that boundaries are a big part of your overall health and well-being and your overall vibration can be an important thing to remember. So the next one we're talking about in this list here today, aromatherapy and scent. This is something that has been used in all religions, all cultures since the beginning of time. We've been talking about since, Bible days. We're talking about frankincense and myrrh and different scents that create purity, or that, some scents will create a sense of well-being. Some scents will create a sense of an aphrodisiac. We have all these different scents that can trigger different, and I shouldn't use that word trigger, but it can activate different parts of us. And I will say that I go through a lot of these different scents a little bit more in detail in the book that I'll tell you about, that all these 21 ways are in. But you can look it up on Google as well. But the different scents can activate different emotions. It can, orange, the smell of orange can activate a sense of a mood boost, can give you energy, right? Citrus smells can do that. I love sandalwood. It's my favorite smell. And sandalwood can be a smell of calming, of there's this spirituality about the smell of sandalwood for me. And different smells might have different effects on different people because, again, we all have our different perception of the world. We all have our own past experiences. So the smell of orange might activate a sense of a mood boost for someone, whereas another person, it might bring them back to a childhood memory with a person who wasn't a healthy person. So it brings a little bit of, an easiness. So different smells, it's not a one size fits all thing, right? We're going to be attracted to certain smells and scents. So aromatherapy and scent is something to kind of play with and kind of find out what works for you and what activates what. And it can be a beautiful way. I love different kinds of essential oils and trying different mixtures. And it can be a beautiful way to really tap into that part of you. But there is a reason why I walked the Camino Trail, and at the end of the trail, this is kind of off, but it's not. At the end of the trail, you land in Santiago de Compostela, and you go to the church where the remains of St. James is at, and they built this big cathedral there, and that's where you can do kind of your end of journey kind of gathering. And they did this beautiful ceremony, and I think a lot of churches probably still do it too in Europe and different places. But they had this beautiful ceremony where they had this huge brass container and just like loads of frankincense, like the most beautiful smell of frankincense you'd ever smell. And they would swing it across the church, and the whole space was filled with this cleansing, spiritual, beautiful smell of frankincense. So this is something that is practiced in all kinds of religions and spiritual activities, and shamans use it for their ceremonies. I mean, it's used in so many different religious and spiritual experiences and ceremonies, and it's something that can be used in our daily life. We can incorporate it in our daily life to bring this sense of ceremony, of devotion into our daily life through the avenue of smell, of scent, of aromatherapy. And aromatherapy can be, when you go to a spa, a lot of people will offer that aromatherapy service, because aromatherapy is so powerful. You smell lavender, you calm down. So aromatherapy and scent definitely has actual scientific backed effects on the nervous system, on our health, and can be a beautiful thing to explore. All right, so the last one we're going to go into today, and then we'll close it up for today, is sound healing. So sound healing, again, science-backed, can certain kinds of sounds can resonate with our cells and can help our cells. They've done studies where it can help your cells heal, where it can just shift your nervous system. So if I go to a sound healing session where they're playing different instruments or sound singing bowls or different instruments like that, or someone is singing in a certain frequency, I've been to certain sessions that have completely relaxed me, completely calmed my nervous system. And I walk out of there feeling so aligned, like all my chakras are all lined up. And sound healing has the power of doing that. But just think about playing some music. If you play a certain song, how it can shift your mood instantly just through the power of sound. A song can shift your vibration, your mood in an instant, right? And then there are some sounds that can shift your mood in an instant and you want to hit something. For me, like hard rock or heavy rap, and that's not to say that's for everyone, but for me, there's something about it that just hits me and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel angry. And I don't want to feel angry. I might, if I want to feel angry, I'll feel angry about something, but I don't want music to change my mood into anger. But music and sound can be and have such a profound impact on our well-being, on our vibration, and our just overall nervous system. And, that's why it's so good to be in nature and the sounds of nature and tuning into that natural flow of nature helps us to balance our vibration as well. That's why taking a walk outside feels so good. That's why spending time outside feels so good, because we're tuning in, we're allowing ourselves to tune into that vibration of the energy that's all around us, the energy that makes up this reality, the energy that makes up this essence of who we are and the fabric we're a part of. So those are the 4 things that we're covering today. And if you want to dive in deeper, if you want to explore a little bit more, I've just kind of touched on these a little bit briefly, but if you want to go deeper, I do have a book that you could check out, Vibe Shift, 21 Ways to Tune into a Higher Frequency. You can check it out on Amazon, which is pretty much available to most of us around the planet now, so you can get a paper book. But if you want it like now, you can do that too. And I have a link in the description box below. It's super simple. You hit, and you have it. It's right there, right in front of you. And you can go back to these videos and maybe work through the videos as you're working through the workbook, because it is a little bit of a workbook format, and it allows, an opportunity for journal prompts and, things that you can implement on a daily basis. And yeah, it's just a way to really integrate the teachings into your daily life. So those are options for you. And if you are still here, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching. I hope this information is helpful to you, and we will see you in the next video.